Hey there, it's me, Nate, and today I want to give you guys my review of Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Now, Light of the Jedi is a Star Wars novel, but unlike a lot of the other Star Wars novels, you don't have to have watched Clone Wars or Rebels or one of the shows or anything like that, because Light of the Jedi is book one of the High Republic era. Now, the High Republic was this new time period in the Star Wars universe that Disney created and started in 2021, so about 5 years ago. And this book, Light of the Jedi, kicked off the entire initiative. Because after Light of the Jedi, there are, several novels that continue off from it. And there's also comics, and they even had a couple of High Republic era shows. They had The Acolyte, which is trash, don't ever watch that show, and they had a couple of shorts in the Star Wars Vision animated short series. So there's a lot of High Republic stuff, but in order to access any of that kind of stuff, you need to read Light of the Jedi. And it's not even need. It's more like get to. You get to read Light of the Jedi and get to experience that other High Republic content. Because Light of the Jedi is a fun book. It's a real page turner. It's a really good time. This is actually my third time reading this book. So I got this book back in 2021 when it came out. Because I'd already read a couple of Star Wars novels. And the High Republic sounded really interesting, so I got it. I got this book when it came out. So I read it in 2021, and I really, really liked it. And I read a couple of the High Republic books after that, but then I kind of fell off. Most of my reading fell off around that time. So I was still picking up and buying the High Republic books, but they were kind of just stacking and gathering dust, which is something I'm planning on remedying. As I continue to read and go through my TBR. And so yeah, I read this in 2021, and then last year when I was getting back into reading, I read it for the second time. I still really enjoyed it. And now, so I can have a review for the channel, I have just finished reading this for the third time, earlier today. And I think this is a really great book. And the reason I think that is because while it doesn't make me think on this huge thematic level, it doesn't have deep thought-provokingness behind it, it is a very feel-good story. And it's a very exciting, action-packed read. So Light of the Jedi, it kicks off with this crisis in the Outer Rim. Because there has been an accident in hyperspace. This cargo freighter, in order to avoid an impossible collision in a hyperspace lane, they try to do a maneuver and avoid it, and that causes this old cargo freighter to rip and tear into pieces. And as these pieces of this ship hurtle through hyperspace, they come out, they exit hyperspace in multiple different points across the Outer Rim. And since they're basically these huge parts of a ship being propelled at light speed, being propelled at light speed at different points, whenever they land, it's going to destroy whatever it hits, or at least do severe damage to it. So whether it's a ship, a satellite, a moon, a planet. And so these parts of the ship, when they come out of hyperspace, they call them emergences. And basically, all of the Jedi and the Republic, military, and just like your everyday common person, they all try to mobilize and try to save, what they can, or try to evacuate and try to get help. And so, Light of the Jedi, for a good chunk of it, is a story of hope. It's a story of heroism, as people come together and the Jedi come together to perform feats of goodness to help other people, even at possibly sacrificing themselves. It is a story about coming together and trying to help people, and and that feels really good to read, and it's a really exciting page turner. But that's only just like the beginning of this book. Really, like the first, maybe third of this book is about that crisis. Because after the crisis is resolved, the Jedi and the Republic at large have to ask themselves what caused this and how can we stop this from happening again. And from there, we get introduced to the villain of the High Republic story, and he's really interesting. I don't want to talk about him that much because, like I said, because you only really get introduced to him probably like 30 to 40% into the book. So to me, that's a spoiler. If he was introduced way earlier on, I might talk about it. But anyway, so you get introduced to the villain of the High Republic era, and he's really interesting. He's part of this new race that we haven't seen before in Star Wars, at least not to my knowledge. Maybe from the old expanded universe from Legends, his race has been around before, but as far as I knew, he's from a new race. And like his organization and his goals and motivations are still obscure to us at this point. And he's a really interesting, fascinating character that I want to learn more about and read more about. And you get to learn more about these new Jedi, because this High Republic era is 200 years before the original trilogy. So 200 years before Luke and Leia and Han and Chewbacca. So this is outside of Yoda, who is barely mentioned a couple of times in this book. This is all brand new characters, and that's really exciting because all of these new characters don't have any of the baggage of expectations or emotional baggage from previous stories and other Star Wars books or media. It's a whole clean, brand new slate that we can just jump into, and these characters are really cool. There's Avar Kriss, a Jedi Master, who has the ability to create like an emotional force network between her and other Jedi, so that way they can coordinate their actions across space and across distances. You have Elzar Mann, a Jedi Knight who likes to experiment with the Force and never does, more than uses the Force in the same way more than once. And you have plenty of these other great Jedi characters and like these great villains, and even like the Chancellor, Lena So, who has great ambitions for the Republic and the galaxy as whole, and how she wants to bring together the people of the Republic and elevate them to a greater society. Because she believes that like by bringing everybody together and putting in the work, that she can elevate and better people's lives for the hope of a better tomorrow. Because her motto and what she hopes that she'll be remembered by is the phrase "We are all the Republic." So I think that's like one of the messages of this book is hope and heroism and unity. So I think that this is like a really feel good story, like I said, because even when the antagonist Force commits like these evil, vile acts, you can still rely upon or like appreciate the heroism of our protagonist. So I may come off really sappy and gushing about this book, but I don't know. It's just like sometimes it is really nice to have a story where there's like very clearly good people going against villainous evil people, and like and like stories of people working together. So yeah, while some people might find this just like, I don't know, kind of like derivative Star Wars tie-in novels, I think it's really a great story. That's what I would give it. I would give this book 4 out of 5 stars. I think it's a great book. It's it's not going to hit you like some kind of deep thought-provokingness. It doesn't have like crazy themes that are going to have you thinking about it for days. But as you're reading it, you're going to have a really great time. You're going to want to keep on reading. And then like after you finish it, you think about this whole new era of Star Wars that you get to explore with brand new characters. And I think that's really exciting and fun. So I want to definitely continue reading more High Republic books. I mean, I have most of all of them, like whether it's the adult or the young adult YA High Republic novels. I have almost all of them. I think I'm only missing like the last few. So I definitely plan to be reading those throughout the rest of the year. So yeah, that's my review for Light of the Jedi by Charles Soule. Which, by the way, I was like, after I finished this, I was like, huh, because I wanted to see if Charles Soule had written any other books. And he has written one other novel, the final High Republic novel, which I can't remember the name of. And back when I used to read a lot more comics, I've read several Charles Soule comics, and I really like his comic books. But I think it's really a shame that he hasn't written more novels. So I really hope he does at some point, because I think he did a really great job here with Light of the Jedi. So I'm definitely looking forward to continuing with the High Republic. So if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'll be all for this review today. And until next time, have a good day.